Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanjalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhavetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vidansha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Neelachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadravyam Jagannathaya Te Namah Pancha Kalptarubhishya Kapa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai. All glories to His Grace Muktavanda Prabhu. Please accept Prabhuji, seeking your blessings. All glories to His Grace Muktavanda Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we are reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, volume 6. And yes, we are reading from Vrindavana, India, April 20, 1975. Srila Prabhupada installed the deities for the grand opening of the Krishna Balaram Mandir. Almost 1,000 disciples were present, and the governor of Uttar Pradesh was the guest of honor. After years of hard endeavor, the grand opening was a climatic triumph for Srila Prabhupada and his movement. While still standing at the altar after having offered the first arti to Krishna and Balaram, Prabhupada addressed the crowd, explaining that this was an international temple where people from all over the world could come to worship and take shelter of Gaura Nitai, Krishna Balaram, and Radha Krishna. Later that evening, Srila Prabhupada sat in his room with a few GBC men. The buttons on his kurta opened because of the heat. The buttons on his kurta opened because of the heat. His legs and bare feet extended under the low table. He relaxed, and his men sat close around him in the dim light of the desk lamp. It was a milestone, he said, but still they had to go forward, not merely savor their success. Many things were still required to make the temple and guest house operative. Srila Prabhupada was thinking beyond Vrindavana. This temple construction is so important, Srila Prabhupada said, that I'm willing to spend many lakhs to open a temple like this. And yet, as important as it is, the book production is even more important. This was a significant reaffirmation of the priority of book production, even while in the midst of this splendid temple opening. He was stressing that book production was more important. Srila Prabhupada seemed displeased, however, because for months his Chaitanya Charitamrita had been delayed by his Sanskrit editor. He said with a scowl that although he had finished the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it remained unpublished. He had also completed all the 4 volumes of the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and was beginning with The fifth, yet only one volume of the fourth canto had been published. One of the devotees present, not understanding Prabhupada's point, remarked that since Prabhupada was going next to Hawaii, he would be able to write there in peace and quiet. Prabhupada replied that he was not encouraged to write when his manuscripts were not being published. The BBT Press, after several years in New York, was about to relocate in Los Angeles, where Rameshwara Swami would become the new BBT Press supervisor. Rameshwara, unaware of the delay in publishing the Chaitanya Charitamrita manuscript, learned of it now in Vrindavana. He promised Prabhupada that he would immediately get the press set up in Los Angeles and begin producing Chaitanya Charitamrita. That Srila Prabhupada had completed the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita manuscript in 18 months during 1973 and 1974 was a remarkable feat. In those same months, he had been intensely engaged in many affairs of management while constantly traveling. He had confronted major problems with leaders who had left their posts. He had personally attended to the GBC duties in India, and he had dealt with other ISKCON managerial affairs. He had authorized many large BBT loans and had approved for the expansion and development of ISKCON in all the areas of the world. In addition to responding regularly to large volumes of mail, speaking daily to guests and giving Bhagavatam lectures wherever he went, his only time for writing had been on arising at 1 a.m. in the morning, and he had persistently worked 2 or 3 hours each day. While Srila Prabhupada traveled from Vrindavana to Australia, Rameshwar and Radha Vallabh worked in Los Angeles to establish the new BBT offices. Prabhupada was still meditating on his completed Chaitanya Charitamrita manuscript, waiting to be published. From Australia, he wrote, "The Chaitanya Charitamrita is complete, 12 parts, and only 3 parts are published. And now the 5th canto is almost finished. So why these books are not being published? This is our first business. Immediately these pending books, 17 in total, must all be published. Why the delay? The US printer's binding is better than Nippon. So some may be printed in the United States and some in Japan. But the pending books must be finished in a very short time. When I see so many books pending, it does not encourage me to translate. When I see books printed, I become encouraged to write more and more. We can talk this over more in Hawaii. Now you and Hansaduta expedite the publishing work. This is your business. And push on the selling. You request Tripurari Maharaj in this connection along with others. Now Bhavananda Swami and Gargamuni Swami are there. They are also expert in pushing this on. By combined effort, publish as quickly as possible and immediately Chaitanya Charitamrita should be done." In Los Angeles, Rameshwara had only completed the lease arrangement for the new building for the press. The BBT artist had just arrived, and editors, proofreaders, and other production workers would soon be coming. The press had purchased a computer typesetter, and the devotees were being trained to use it. Carpenters knocked down walls to build a photo lab and darkroom. Additional plumbing had to be installed, and the entire press had to be set up within 1 month. Srila Prabhupada was coming in June. That was April, we started raining. Now, May and June. Srila Prabhupada was coming in June, and everything would have to be ready and running. By the time Srila Prabhupada reached Hawaii in May, the press in Los Angeles was preparing for operation. So, April, Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan. Then, after that, Australia, and May, Srila Prabhupada is in Hawaii. Srila Prabhupada's secretary phoned Los Angeles often. Prabhupada is angry. He keeps talking about the unpublished books. You would better be prepared when he arrives. Rameshwara and Radha Vallabh had investigated the necessities and the difficulties in printing the Chaitanya Charitamrita manuscript, which they concluded would come to 17 volumes. One of the main problems they discovered was the lack of an expert Bengali editor. Most of the Chaitanya Charitamrita was in Bengali, although the BBT editors were experienced in Sanskrit because they were not proficient in Bengali. The work was progressing slowly. Also, Srila Prabhupada wanted many paintings in his books, and the art department would need many months to meet his request. Never before had the BBT lagged so far behind. Srila Prabhupada, never before the BBT lagged so far behind Srila Prabhupada. Rameshwara and Radha Vallabha, straining their brains to produce books quickly and efficiently, devised a stepped up production schedule. By the old schedule, they could publish a book every 3 or 4 months, but on the new schedule, they decided they could produce a book a month. In that way, they would eventually catch up with Srila Prabhupada. Rameshwara was eager to present Prabhupada with this plan when he came to Los Angeles. More phone calls came from Prabhupada's secretary. Prabhupada had heard about the preparation of the press buildings, but he had also heard that his name had not been displayed on the front of the BBT building. He was always insistent to preserve ISKCON's disciplic succession, foreseeing that unless ISKCON stressed A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami as the founder Acharya, in the future, persons might claim their rights of ISKCON leadership or of ownership of ISKCON properties. In the rush for completing the buildings, the BBT managers had overlooked this important detail. June 20, 1975. On arriving in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada received a joyous welcome. So, May in Hawaii and June, Srila Prabhupada came to Los Angeles. He was accompanied by leading sannyasis and GBC secretaries, including Kirtanananda Swami, Vishnujana Swami, Brahmananda Swami, Tamal Krishna Goswami, and others. Later, sitting in his room, one of his favorites in all of ISKCON, that is ISKCON Los Angeles, he spoke only briefly about the backlog of unprinted books. He seemed mildly disturbed but said little. He was very pleased, however, to see the temple and the deities of Rukmini Dwarkadhish. In his short arrival speech, he had explained why he was so urgently pressing his disciples to produce his books. I have no personal qualification, he had said from the plushly unholstered Vyasasana. But I simply tried to satisfy my Guru. That's all. My Guru Maharaj asked me that if you get some money, you print books. So there was a private meeting talking. Some of my important godbrothers also were there. It was in Radha Kunda. So Guru Maharaj was speaking to me that since we have got this Bagh Bazaar marble temple, there has been so much dissension and everyone thinking who will occupy this room or that room. I wish therefore to sell this temple and the marble and print some books. Yes, so I took up this from his mouth, and that he's very fond of. That he's very fond of books, and he told me personally, if you get some money, print books. Therefore, I am stressing on this point. Where is book? Where is book? So kindly help me. That is my request. Print as many books as possible in as many languages as possible and distribute throughout the whole world. Then the Krishna consciousness movement will automatically increase. So here we'll discuss a bit till what we have read. So Srila Prabhupada on the grand opening of the Krishna Balaram Mandir 1975. So Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing that, okay, we are opening temples so that everyone can come and get a chance, opportunity to associate with devotees, to hear Krishna's name, Krishna's katha, Krishna's darshan, Krishna prasad. So Nam, Gun, Roop, Leela. But along with that, Srila Prabhupada said, more important than opening temples is, in Prabhupada's time, publishing books, and now for us, distributing Srila Prabhupada books. Because Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that when he met his Guru Maharaj in Radha Kunda, that time his Guru Maharaj was telling, because big temples, then there are chances that everyone wants to grab temples property. Means that desire of Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, Pujala, Pratishtha in subtle way, then we try to, and we want to enjoy Krishna's property. So this is Krishna's temple. We belong to Krishna, body belong to Krishna, all that we have belong to Krishna. So the very meaning of bhakti is Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So we are meant to serve Krishna, and we are meant to give enjoyment to Krishna. So we have to be careful that we are not bhogis. So there is all whatever we are today, it's just because of Srila Prabhupada. So we should not enjoy on Srila Prabhupada's struggle. We should serve Srila Prabhupada by distributing his books more and more. So we should not become Guru Bhogi. So we should not become enjoyers in ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada disciples have there was never a moment of rest. So Srila Prabhupada, so whatever we are receiving today, we should be immensely grateful. And the act of that gratitude is to take responsibility in sincerely practicing and preaching Krishna consciousness. And for preaching Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada said, purity is the force that will come by following Srila Prabhupada as it is. Books are the basis. So books are the basis, preaching is the essence, and purity is the force.
Utility is the principle.
Yeah, this is what we very often hear in India, like books are the basis. Sometime in the name of preaching, we think we will say this, but if we are not giving Prabhupada books, then we are not letting them get mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So that's why books are the basis. And then we should have a good morning program, strong sadhana. So that's why purity is the force. And not just we should distribute books, we should read books. Because when we read Prabhupada books, then we will understand that why it is so important to distribute Prabhupada books. So that's what I was saying. Books are the basis.
In the fourth line of the books are the basis. Utility is the principle.
Utility is the principle. Preaching is the essence.
Preaching is the essence, and purity is the force.
Yes.
That used to be a common thing that devotees referred to. Utility is the principle. Prabhupada definitely utilized everything. And he wanted us to.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, like Bhagavad Gita, as it is valid in all times, in all situations. Same way, for preaching Srila Prabhupada books, there is no comparison with anything else. Srila Prabhupada said, my books for the next 10,000 years will guide the humanity. So we should never underestimate the importance of book distribution. Because when we are giving somebody Srila Prabhupada books with such wonderful and in-depth, pure purports, having the commentaries of the previous acharyas, Prabhupada has given us in a way so that we can understand, practice, transform our lives. So when we are giving somebody Srila Prabhupada book, we are giving that person, we are becoming the instrument to give that person the opportunity to associate with Srila Prabhupada to get Srila Prabhupada's mercy. So that's why, there's one more statement like how many, what service we are doing is counted how many devotees we are making and how many books we are distributing. So that way. And then Srila Prabhupada, so Srila Prabhupada, another thing is that more and more we meditate on Srila Prabhupada, our gratitude should increase more and more because, see, 1973 and 1974 was such tough times. Srila Prabhupada was single-handedly managing everything. He has to see GBC, any trouble with the leaders, management, everything Srila Prabhupada was daily doing. Along with that, daily speaking to the guest, he was available to everyone, replying to the mails, and then giving Bhagavatam lectures. Then Srila Prabhupada was getting up at 1 o'clock in the night for the translation. So we should, traveling and like, yes, Prabhuji. Like April in Vrindavan, then Australia, then May Hawaii, June Los Angeles, and that age. So even in this current age, like when we travel and all, we think, now relax. Srila Prabhupada, like we cannot even think how Srila Prabhupada is doing all this. But Srila Prabhupada has done this for us. So we should increase our gratitude more and more. Just now, somebody was asking me, I received a message in the morning that I'm going to Vrindavan in Kartik for Govardhan Puja, and then that person was, that devotee was asking me that I'll pray for you, Mataji, please let me know the all Radha Krishna deities are special, but what is your dearmost deity? And I'll pray. Then it just took a fraction of a second to think our dearmost deity is Srila Prabhupada. That's actually, because Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Shiksha Guru in ISKCON, so our Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru are the main Archa Vigraha of our life. So, because we cannot get any realization without the mercy of our spiritual master. Like from Guru Maharaj, once somebody, for the book marathon time, somebody brought to Guru Maharaj jackets with Srila Prabhupada's photo on it. And Guru Maharaj said, I cannot wear this. This has Srila Prabhupada on it. And like, no. So that degree of surrender and respect that Srila Prabhupada is my worshipful deity, that's the attitude of Srila Prabhupada disciples, and that should be our attitude as well. And then Guru Maharaj told that, you can, if you will wear this, and then you'll go to washroom with Srila Prabhupada. So no, we can't take, Srila Prabhupada is our worshipable, like there is Grantha Bhagavat, devotee Bhagavat, Sevak Bhagwan, Sevya Bhagwan. So that way, Srila Prabhupada actually is the direct manifestation of the Super Soul. And Srila Lochan Das Thakur has said that Senapati Bhakt will come, and it's mentioned in the scripture that Srila Prabhupada has having the Shakti Avesh of Gauranga. So actually we don't know under whose shelter we are, who is Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is not at all ordinary.
One statement that Prabhupada, he said it more than once, but that people wonder, does God exist? Is there a God? But the pure devotee can hand his God like a commodity.
Yes.
Is God, take God.
Yes.
That's what you're doing when you distribute a book or preach in any way. You're just handing Krishna to people.
Yes, probably.
They don't know what they're getting, but in due course of time, they will know that this life or the next.
Yes. So, yes, when we are giving Srila Prabhupada books, they are getting the chance to associate with Srila Prabhupada, and there is a Vaishnava bhajan related to that. Because Srila Prabhupada is carrying Krishna in his heart, Srila Prabhupada is capable of giving Krishna. Tamara hridaya sada Govinda Vishrama Govinda Kohena Mora Vaishnava Parana Prati Janme Kore Asha Charane Radhuli Narottama Karo Daya Aparnar Boli. So that Ajita, Krishna who is Ajita, can become Jita by his pure devotee, and then that pure devotee is capable of giving us Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada, because in Srila Prabhupada's heart there is a Vishram of Govinda Dev. So Srila Prabhupada is capable of giving us Govinda. And that's why Srila Narottam Das Thakur is not asking anything else. He says, Prati Janme Kare Asha Charane Radhuli. I just want shelter of my spiritual master birth after birth. And that's what Srila Narottam Das Thakur is singing in Guru Vandana also. Chakshudan diloye janme janme prabhu say. So that's why he's our Lord birth after birth. So not like Mayavadis that they step over their Guru and they think, now I don't care for you. No, we are eternally disciples of our Guru Maharaj. Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj says, disciple is eternally disciple. Even in the spiritual world, we will be assisting our spiritual master in the service, in their service to their spiritual master and Radha Krishna. No, that's the whole parampara of Dasa, 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 Anudasa. No, nothing direct. We don't want to jump. That's the attitude of the gopis. No gopi wants to replace other gopis. No one is thinking, Lalita Vishaka, they are not thinking, let's replace Radharani. So that's why we are servant of the servant of the servant. And then this is transcendental, so we relish the same. By what our parampara is relishing. When we directly try to serve Krishna, we won't be able to get that relishment because we cannot directly serve Krishna. But when we serve through the Guru Shishya Parampara, Dasa Dasa Nadas, we are able to relish the same. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was giving prema to everyone, then that person going back to his village, whomever he embraced, that person also got the prema. So it's not that the person who just get the direct embrace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, only that person will get it, and the next person will get it less. It's not in mundane way. So same way, we should not think, okay, like in the Guru Shishya Parampara, okay, if we are third generation disciple, fourth generation disciple, then we are getting less. No, this is transcendental. This is the Karuna potency of Radharani, Nityananda. So we are getting the same. And Srila Prabhupada says the grand disciples are more dear. So Srila Prabhupada was telling his disciples that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, his divine Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada will be more pleased upon you because he are his grand disciples. So more and more mercy we get, then we become more dasa anudas. So we should give up the lording mentality and should not try to escape Guru, or should not ever think of serving Radha Krishna directly. we were not qualified. This is all Prabhupada's mercy that we are here. So how can we ever think of like, that's why we are eternally sheltered at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. And all spiritual rasa will relish by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And yesterday, there's a 3-day series of His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj, who is disciple of His Holiness Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. He's giving a special Katha series in Vrindavana. And that is very relevant to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because now people are running after, they are thinking, we don't care for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, will say Radha Krishna, directly Radha Krishna. Then His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj was mentioning that there is no other pranama mantra the way the praniti mantra of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So Srila Rupa Goswami, who is Rupa Manjari, she's Manjari. Manjari, when Srila Rupa Goswami Pad offered obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Prayagraj, he said, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurat Vishanama. So Maharaj was telling, Krishna Prem Pradayate is only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if we want Krishna Prem, only and only through Gauranga. So that's why Maharaj was mentioning that we are in Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So we should have the Sampradaya Nishtha. We'll get only through Gaura. Even in Krishna's Pranam Mantra, Aishwarya Bhav, all the like, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagat Pate. Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate. But the goal of life is Krishna Prem. So then you will like this, Prabhuji. He was saying that Gaura, like what do we pray? That what is so special about our parampara is Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, that Gauranga Mahaprabhu, because Gauranga Mahaprabhu is capable of giving Krishna Prem. And Srila Prabhupada, in the purports of first canto, when Prabhupada came to America and giving Krishna consciousness to the hippies, Srila Prabhupada was writing the purport, Lord Chaitanya is our only hope. Lord Chaitanya is our only hope. So that's why for us, this Jugala Murti, Gauranga, who is Radha Krishna na Anya, that's our Ishta. Gaur and Nitai. So then Maharaj was mentioning that usually we think like there are many temples in Braja and holy places, and they think the deities are Thakur. Means the Goswamis brought some devotees and they were worshipping, then they married and their families started worshipping, and then they say that he's our Thakur. The deity belongs to us. Like that way, devotee feels it's good. They are saying that he is my Lord. But what is so special about Brahma Gaudiyas, that Maharaj was giving a reference from Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Madan Mohan, Gopinath, Govinda Dev have embraced Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's like we want to claim that the deity belongs to us, but the deity is claiming Madan Mohan, Gopinath and Govinda is embracing Chaitanya. So Maharaj said, Gauranga is the alingat vigraha of Madan Mohan, Gopinath, Govinda Dev. So so that's why all the devotees who are coming in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, so Bhagavan himself has done the Atmasat. Atmasat word meaning when we accept, we might reject. Because we are that sort of person, conditioned jiva. But when the Guru and Krishna does you Atmasat, they never reject you. So that's why V Gaudiya has a special privilege that Sri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan has done Atmasat. So Maharaj was quoting from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So for us, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Gaur Prema, Krishna Prema. So because nowadays people, why such sessions are happening? Because people are running for shortcuts. They were knowing nothing about Krishna consciousness, Radha Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gave. Before Srila Prabhupada, it was not so widespread all over the world. So that's why it's not that after 10 years, 20 years of being in ISKCON, we think now we should go somewhere else. There is no need to go somewhere else. And His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj was quoting from Chakravarti Pad Thakur commentary, then Srila Prabodhanand Saraswati commentaries. Then he was saying, like for us, there is no one else. We are the servants of Gaura. So that way I thought that's why we should never go any step out of ISKCON. There is no need. Because yesterday, S.G. Muktavananda Prabhu was reading that somebody asked Prabhupada that in Kali Yuga how Krishna is manifesting. Srila Prabhupada said Krishna has manifested in Kali Yuga in the form of this Hare Krishna movement. So that's why we are sitting in the perfect place. So we should do our bhajan, our service in ISKCON, in the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's loyal servants, Srila Prabhupada disciples. So there is no need of anything else. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. And that's why today when we were reciting after Guru Vandana, like yesterday we were mentioning Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Pranam Mantra, like Krishna Prema Pradayate. Same way, what is Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra? Namaste, Saraswati Devi. So the only identity of a disciple is the servant, that he is the servant of his spiritual master. That's why Prabhupada is writing here. That's Prabhupada's humility. I have no qualification. I have no personal qualification, but I simply try to satisfy my Guru. That's all. So that way, we should not think, oh, what shall I do to progress in bhakti? We have to just try to satisfy our Guru. And our present Gurus, what they want, we should just follow Srila Prabhupada as it is. We should always stay in ISKCON. Always follow Prabhupada as it is. So, then Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvish. So, Gauravani. So, I like this. Gaur Prem, Gauravani. So, Gauravani. So, our moment is the moment of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Maharaj is saying, okay, Bhagavan Krishna, because Bhagavan Krishna will see the qualification. Yesham tab antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. Maharaj said, what punya we have done? We are heen sadhakas. So this is only mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna needs some prior qualification. Bhagavan Ramachandra is Maryada Purushottam, who is the hope for us, Gauranga, and he is giving us Krishna Prema, the highest treasure. So that was very nice. So Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini. And same way when Srila Prabhupada is writing in his Jaladuta prayers for his spiritual master, you see, Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Shachi Sutta Priyati Krishna Seva Jara Tulya Nai. My spiritual master, Divine Geshul Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, is very, very dear to the son of Mother Shachi. Shachi Sutta Priya Ati. This is so special, this is so special. This is the perfect chosen words of prayers for his spiritual master. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Shachi Sutta Priya Ati Krishna Seva Jara Tulya Nai. There is no one else in comparison to him, who the servant of Krishna. Because why so special? Up Siddhanta Dvanta Harine, and his Vashubhanivi Devi Daitai Kripa Badhe. So is this very dear to Srimati Radharani. So in what parampara we are coming? In the parampara of Srila Rupa Goswami, Manjari is in the parampara of the beloved of Srimati Radharani, the ray of Vishnu, beloved of Srimati Radharani, Vrishubhan, Varshubhanavi Daite Kripa Badhe. Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhavenama. Madhurya Ujjwala Premadha Shri Rupanuk Bhaktida. So we are getting Madhurya Prem in ISKCON. Where is the need to go for anywhere else? Sometimes people think, okay, you are just getting the basic. For Madhurya Rasa, you have to go to somewhere else. No. Don't get bewildered. Remain loyal to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada ISKCON. So that is that's why we should read Prabhupada books, because everything is there in Prabhupada books, and we should hear from those who are surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. Then we will understand that we are at the perfect place. Only thing lacking is our Sharanagati. So, Mam Chaya Abhyabhicharine, we have to become Abhyabhichari servants of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's servants. Chaste. So that was it, and it's 9 o'clock. And so Srila Prabhupada wanted his books to be published, and Srila Prabhupada, there was 17 volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita and 4 parts of fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and all this was pending, and Srila Prabhupada was saying that we should publish. Then another very significant what came in the reading today, yes, we should never forget, like how we offer prayers in the morning, Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajikacharya Ashtota Shashi Srimati Divine Geshul Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, BBT founder Acharya. So His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was mentioning that he included that in the daily prayers. So that, because Srila Prabhupada wanted this, and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So that's why every day, because we should never forget that who is ISKCON's founder Acharya. ISKCON belongs to whom? Srila Prabhupada. So ISKCON, because Prabhupada wanted this. Prabhupada said otherwise in future, they might claim their rights of ISKCON leadership or of ownership of ISKCON properties. No. That's why we should understand that Prabhupada mentioned also, ISKCON is my body. So that's why we should not try to take any part away. So ISKCON is also like a vigraha for us. That's why when our Nairobi temple was in some difficulty, Guru Maharaj went there. Because the temple opened by Srila Prabhupada should never get closed down and should never get taken away by anybody else. Should never be mishandled. That's Srila Prabhupada's property. So that's why we say Srila Prabhupada's temple. We don't have any direct connection with Radha Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, Pranadhan. So that's why, like, as the grateful grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we should be highly responsible so that we become the loyal servants of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada disciples and stay loyal to ISKCON. And we should be ready to do anything and everything for the sake of serving in Srila Prabhupada ISKCON. So I am a small person speaking from a big mouth, but the only prayer we all should beg and pray that we always remain loyal to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada disciples because of their loyalty to Srila Prabhupada we are here today. Otherwise, who could have told us about Srila Prabhupada? Books are there, but who made it sure that Prabhupada books should be distributed? Who made it sure that Prabhupada ISKCON should not be divided into that was the struggle of Srila Prabhupada disciples. That Srila Prabhupada ISKCON remain united. And that's why whole day and night, morning till evening, we are singing Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, Jai Srila Prabhupada. We should live life in a way that from our life, glories of Srila Prabhupada should be sung. So, that is it. All glories. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And we should just pray that I should never cheat Srila Prabhupada. So not like the Mayavadis, that okay, now let go to somebody else. There is no need. There is no need. Shri Varshubhanvi Devi Daitai Kripabde. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chakshudan Dilayai Janme Janme Prabhu Say Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite Avidya Vinashayate Vede Gaye Yaha Rucharita. His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charnaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada lilamrita Ki Jai Samasta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Hari Bol. You want to say something, Prabhuji? I was just for your pleasure. You tricked me. I was just reading.
You know that one story about
Yeah. You can tell. No, you can tell. Because some of our devotees, they'll be able to hear.
Well, I don't know the story, all the details, right? The story Prabhupada told about not enjoying the property of the spiritual master.
Hold on. Yeah. This is very essential for the next generation to hear. Yes.
Not trying to enjoy the property of the spiritual master. He tells a story about this one spiritual master. He had a husband and wife, disciples, and they were poor, but they invited their spiritual master for dinner at their house. You know the story?
If you're talking about the disciples of Sripad Ramanujacharya, we don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't know who the spiritual master was, but his husband and wife, they invited him for dinner at their house, and they were poor, but they brought out like one fabulous preparation after another, and the spiritual master kept saying, "How did you do all this?" And they kept saying, "Oh, it's only it's only your mercy, Guru Maharaj." And then so anyway, it was a wonderful dinner, and then he went home, and the next day he found out that his bank account was empty.
Somebody else story. That was another one. Yeah. Oh.
It's all your mercy. Anyway, I forget the exact point Prabhupada was making.
Yeah, so this is Srila Prabhupada's money. So we should have
Yeah.
Prabhupada's money.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.